Alright, back at it again. I keep using the portaband table in my big vise, so that ties up the vise. So I bought a cheapy little one. I forget how much it was. 30, 40, 50 bucks, I can't remember. But anyway, now I need a spot for that. I think most of the time I'm going to be putting it there, so got a little plate cleaned up, getting ready to cut it out on the portaband table. Weld it up, have another vise mount, and then I'm dreaming one up for the truck too, so let's see if I remember to record that. Well, another time that I was bad about filming stuff. Finished up the vise mount for this little guy. Just a piece of 2-inch square tube with a piece of 1/8-inch plate welded onto it. Then I just cut it out. Got it trimmed down to where it's nice. We don't hit stuff as much as when you turn the vise around. Or you're not running into a square corner if you're dumbass it. Anyway, so now that I got this one done, it gave me time to build this guy. This is going to be one that actually goes in the hitch of the truck. And it's going to have 2 different heads for it. Basically another vise like this. And then it's going to have a pipe vise too. But so I've got it where you've got adjustability up here. You know, you'll end up sticking a where is it? This guy. It's going to be a plate welded to the top of this. And then you tighten that screw down. That'll let you adjust your height on that plate. And then same thing, it's got it'll actually fold up. So it'll store in the bed of the truck nice, or a lot nicer anyway. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. The only thing that's actually new material on that is the 2-inch square tube to slide into the receiver. Everything else is scrap from a job. You know, this is a 1/4-inch plate. That was some old structure bracing. This is a piece of 4-inch rigid conduit. You know, cut and notched. That'll be a place where, well, number one, you're not banging your shins into it, or if you are, at least it's round. Number 2, tie ropes for holding your threader on, you know, porta-pony, stuff like that. So I got that going. Just figured I'd shoot a video since I was bad about filming that one. And then what I really started filming for was just to show a little idea. You know, people are like, oh, how do I cut square? You know, how do I draw a square line around it? You know, you don't need to buy pipe wraps unless, you know, you really want to. All you need is a piece of paper. And that was an old SDS sheet. But basically, you ring the paper around it. You know, wrap it all the way around. It's hard to do one-handed. But you get all the edges lined up. And then you can trace a line around it and it'll actually be square. So it's not, you know, it's not CNC, but it'll be square enough for what I'm doing. So, see if, probably won't film again until I get it about finished up, but we'll see. Later. Alright. Hopefully this shows up good enough. It's getting starting to get dark out. But, got it all made up. Still waiting on the chain vise, but I got the head for that all made up. But yeah, it ought to work out pretty sweet. Got the baby vise on here, and if we do anything that needs a small vise, it's kind of like a cheap way to get 2 vices at one time. I don't really need a 6 or an 8-inch vise, and then trying to lift a 50 or 80 pound vise on top of a steel kind of sucks. So this is just one way to try to be a little more resilient, just in case I gotta drill some holes in some plate or something that's not good for a chain vise. But you know, these things always suck, but it'll be nice. You can just crank this handle, rotate your vise, lock it back down, and everything here is pretty much made out of scrap except for that 2-inch tube. Used I think that's like 1/8 inch or 3/16 wall 2-inch tube. These uprights here are 1/4-inch plate. Those are just 1/2-inch bolts and cut up pieces of ground rod welded to it for handles. And then my my tie-off point slash anti-ankle mangler. That's it's 4-inch rigid conduit. This upright is 2-inch rigid conduit, and then the inside tubes are 1.5 inches. And then this that was some leftover, well, it's really scrap 3/8 plate that I got off of something. That's why it's got some nuts welded to the back of it. But this is gonna be where the chain vise mounts up. But yeah, a couple afternoons, and hopefully I won't have to lay it on the tailgate and try to hold it and cut it anymore. I can throw it in a vise and actually use 2 hands on the bandsaw. Yay! Just I don't know, you can whip up all sorts of shit if you got the determination and a couple ideas. So if anybody's got